Hey guys, so welcome back. I've managed to work on the subscription and now we've successfully completed deploying our storage accounts. Like I said from the beginning, let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see here. Your storage accounts contain your blob storage called containers, your file shares, your queues, and your tables. Our focus today would really be your containers and your file shares. So without wasting much time, let's go to it. Now to create a container, click on containers, and you already see there's one by default called logs. Okay, so I'm going to click on one called a container here, and I want to call it media. Or let's say you had a website and you're storing your pictures there, website media. Now, I doubt they love the hyphenations, but let's give it a go. I know they will allow us to do it. So let's see. And it's successful. So that's created here called website media. So what I need to do now is I need to upload a file to it. Let me find a good file on my computer. That might be quite interesting. Okay, so when I go to upload now, I can browse to a location on my computer here. I'm going to browse and I'm going to select this folder. In this folder, I have a beautiful picture of a valley in Italy. Okay, Valley of the Males. Okay, and you can see I do have some Python Lambda functions and other bits here and there. So I'm going to select this image. Like we said, blob storages are best for images and videos. Now it is here. All I need to do now is click on upload. So what this does is it stores that object, okay, in a blob or a container. Now that it's stored, I need to be able to view it from somewhere. Okay, I have a virtual machine that I'm going to connect from and view it from there. But to do that first, we have to look at these things. We have something called shared access tokens. S, well, it's SAS really, shared access. And this is what gives you and I the security over access to those files. So I can say I want to connect and view that file over only HTTPS or either HTTP or HTTPS. Okay, but I'm not going to do that now. Okay, so this is it. We have access policy, and you can create policies for access to these blob storage objects. Okay, let's create an access. Now you can see that we have the signing key 1, 2. Okay, and these are over here access keys that will be used to sign in. Okay, I'll show you how it looks like over there. But before that, let's go into the containers and look at the overview for a second. When I look at the overview here, your storage account has this name. It has a special name or let's say access to it. And based on what you create, you will see something dot windows storage dot something. So let's go to containers now. Your container here, I'll go to website media. In a moment, I'm going to see where that URL is. Okay, so let's go properties before we crack on. Perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So over here, they keep changing things around here. So if you don't do it every day, you miss the location of it. So it says that the storage account, which is 802.03, and this is a blob because this is a blob, a container, and it's called Windows Net. And then the name of that folder that I created called website media. Okay, so this is actually your storage account, the type of storage you're using, which is blob, and then it's all appended to call the windows.net and it was a media. If it was files, it's going to be storage account.file.core the windows.net blah blah blah. Okay, so you get the drift now, all right? So let's go ahead now and let's connect to this. I'm going to just create a connection now. I'm going to allow it from anywhere else in the world. And it says start time. Yeah, just generate one now. I'm just going to use either. Now you see that it has a token and then you have the URL. The URL has this token embedded. How do I know that? Let me show you. This token is your security really. And it says RW to start with and ends with LNHO. So RW, okay, LNHO. All right, so this is how this SAS token is appended to this account on this storage account blob and this location and that file. The file is hidden here somewhere. And access is between this time and that time. I don't know what they give you. They give you 9 till 5 a.m. of the following day. So a few hours from here. Okay, you can decide to allow access from specific IP addresses, but at the moment I said nothing. So by default, anyone can access it. Okay. So before I access it from somewhere else, why don't you try it from here? So let's go to the right hand side and click on the copy. And I'll go over here now and paste this and see what we get. It says authentication is not found correctly, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's why we engineers, we have to check why. It says signature did not match. Interesting. Why did it not match? Just trying to. I just need to read it really. I use the delegation key. Let me try this for a second. And that's why you're an engineer. You have to troubleshoot and see why. Okay, it says server failed to authenticate the request. Make sure the value for authorization header is found correctly. Include signature. Let me try from a different browser, please, guys. Okay, guys. So that was very interesting. I'll show you what I did. Okay, it's working now. I can get to it. All right, so you can see the storage accounts over here and the whole detail. So what I did was I went into the file itself. So earlier on, I was just going here to generate access token and URL, but really that's not for access into the file itself. So I need to go back to the file itself. All right. So when I go into container itself, let's see container. In the container, I have this file. So click on the file. Then I will generate access to the file. So now come into generate SAS. And I'll say, I want you to generate a file for me on either HTTP or HTTP. Click on that. Then I copy. When I copy, I go over here, paste, and then we have our image. Okay. So, yeah. So the file you want to view, you target those files, that folder, and then you create that SAS blob, SAS token, the blob itself. The other one I was working on, let's look at it. It wasn't the blob access, it was just an SAS token to all the shared access tokens here. Okay, just creating something for access. But if you want it specific to this blob, I can go to the blob WhatsApp media and go into the file. So let's go to the file itself. Go to the file you want and generate one. Okay, let's add another file. I'm going to upload another file so we can prove that it works all the time. And this I'm going to add a TST file. So there's a TST file here. Upload, and there it is. Now to access this file, click on that. And then I'll go into generate SAS. And in fact, I can actually tie it to my address so that nobody else can access it from anywhere else in the world. If I wanted to, I'll put it here, and that's my IP address. Generate the token, and you see that it has my IP address, and that's in the source IP, SIP. I'll copy that now and go into where I used to be, or a different page, different window, and then you see the file. So that's a requirement of TST for those of you who do Python. And I've got these libraries or packages I want to install. Okay, so that's it. That's it really. You have a blob storage now. On the next one, we will do a network file share. But I said to you that I was going to try this as well from a VM. So let me just log into my VM and I'll show you what I intend to. Okay, guys. So here is my VM. You can see it's a different operating system Ubuntu. All right. What I need to do now is I need to open that image I had before. So I'm going to copy that same URL and paste it here. And I should see that same image. Okay, so there are two different operating systems, two different environments. It's taking a while to load, blah, blah, blah. But before that, I was able to get to this file very faster. So it's just taking time for this to load. Let's try again. Enter again. Might be the internet performance for that. And the image is quite huge, so. I'll leave it run in the meantime for it to load so it doesn't take much of your time. So hold on a second. Okay, here we are. So it looks like it had chopped off some of the URL, but I copied all over again and it's working fine. So I can see it here. Okay. So imagine you had a website and you had this URL. Anyone with a computer or an iPhone or smart television or anything with access to the website could go and view this image. Okay. All right. So that is it. The next one, we're going to create an NFS share. So over here now, we've done the container. Let's go ahead and create an NFS share. Now, when I come in here now to the container directly, the storage account, I can go to file shares. We will not touch on queues and tables. That's for you to learn later. I'm going to create a nice file share. This is a file share example we showed earlier between all those machines in different parts of the world. And in this file share, we're going to call it MNT share, and I'll call it 2708. Okay. All right. And I'll click on next. It's asking you the vault name. I don't care about backup for now. All right. So leave that for now and click on review and click on create. And quickly, it's created that already. So when I go here again, I see my containers and I see what's the media and I see file shares and I see my MENT share. So this MENT share now, it's here. There's nothing in this folder. When I go to browse, it's empty. I can create a folder here or upload files here as I want. Let's see if I can upload the same files like I had before. This time, let's go to root and upload that all those things here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open that up here and do upload. So I'm going to copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 files in a folder called MNT share. Okay, so that's it. Unlike the blob storage, I can't open it here. Of course, I can perhaps look at this here and view it. Well, in the blob, you can do it easily here. You go and edit and you can see what it is. But this is a share. So what I need to do now is connect to the share from my computer and view the files in here. So I'm going to do this from my Ubuntu machine. So I'm going to select operating system. It's called Linux. The mount point is called MNT share. So when I select Linux, of course, if you're on Mac, you can go to Mac and you can look at the script type. So Mac uses Open and SMB, and this path is pretty straightforward. Linux uses something differently. So it creates a folder called mount MNT share, and then use the credentials to connect to this share. All right, then we have Windows. It does something similar, okay, with PowerShell. And the drive letter is Z. You can change it to whatever you want. Let's say you wanted it to be M or whatever. But my VM is Ubuntu. So over here, I'm going to copy this share here, and then I'll go into my virtual machine. So I'm opening the virtual machine now. Let's blow it. All right, so that's my VM here now. I'm going to go into this folder here. I'm actually going to go into this terminal and I would perform a sudo su. So I'm waiting for it to load. Did I not run it? Run it again? 2 times lucky. So I'm going to do a sudo su here and I'll enter the password. Okay, now that gives me a chance for me to perform advanced functions. And the command I had was this. Oh, let's paste this command. Press enter and wait. So when I do, I should see mount. Let me paste one more time. Paste. Okay, it already exists. So if it's already there, why can't I see it? All right, let's go into folders. Maybe that'll be good. Um, Scroll down here and other locations. Oh, there it is. We do have MNT share here. Okay, it's saying folder is empty, but we know there's something in that share. Why is it not showing here yet? Okay, let's go cd MNT. Interesting. So I have the share here, but I just don't see the files in it. Why is that so? Let me investigate. Hold on a second, guys. Guys, I've chosen to restart my VM, but in the meantime, I could try and run this on my operating system myself. So I'm going to go here and I'll open something called PowerShell ISC. Okay, so create a new one. And it says drive M. Let's go to my computer now, this PC, and you can see only drive C here. Okay, so do this and let's see if it works. Good. I'm an administrator there, so good. So now you can see that we have the drive letter M mounted successfully to the storage account. You can see it here. I'm trying to make it bigger. It's not working. But then I double click and I see all the files in it. Okay, I don't know what's happening with the Ubuntu box, but you can see it here. There's the same share. Okay. All right. So this is how you create a storage account, file, share, and you mount it to your machine. Okay, I'm going to mount this by saying disconnect. And let me see if my VM is up again. Hold on. Okay, guys, so I just performed a quick restart of the Linux VM and went to the mount, and I can see the files in the mount. Okay, so when I right click this and go to properties, hopefully there's a properties here. It should show me that this is, yes, you can see it located here. All right. Now let's have a look at it in the terminal. I don't know what happened there, but I had to just restart it. Plus, make sure there's SIFs installed on your box to support SMB version 3. So over here, I do df minus th. Now I see that whole storage. Yeah, I couldn't see before, but I see now. You can see SIFs. All right. Now the command to install SIFs is actually something that I looked up earlier because I was having troubles here. The command to store SIFs is when I go to Linux here and I do learn more. The command is this one: install SIFs utils. Okay, and update and install it, and then that will get it to read. Okay, so that's what I had to do in the very end. So a quick overview is we've managed to create a storage account. We've managed to create a container or a blob storage with website media. We've managed to create an NFS share. And from my machine, which is Windows machine and the Ubuntu machine, we've all been able to connect to the same resource. And over here, I can add a new file. I can add a new folder, and I call it John on Linux, and do create. When I come in here now and click on share and I do browse, it's John on Linux. Do you see the beauty of that? Okay, let me go back to my Windows machine and do it again. And I can also create a new folder and I'll say John on Windows. Okay, quickly go and check, refresh, and there we are. Now both parties can view. Let's refresh this here. Let's go mount share, and there we are. Then when I do cd mnt share, when I do ls, I see John ls minus la, and I can see John on Linux and John on Windows. Okay, so I hope this course has been informative for you. I'd like to thank you for viewing, and I'll see you on the next one. Go ahead and create your own NFS share. Remember to disconnect it after you're done, because I've had troubles in the past on mounting this when I deleted the share itself. So I'm just going to disconnect here. Okay. Now on Linux you do something called umount. So I'll do that in a moment. But thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.